Yo, yo, yo. Good morning, good morning. Freedom marchers, freedom family, freedom lovers, and freedom fighters. Snapzilla Gorilla here, aka The Definition. Hitting y'all with this live stream because the bullshit is real. The bullshit is real. So, one of Manager Marty's videos came across in my timeline, and of course it's about Bill Haney, and so I was interested in seeing what the hell he had to say this time. And let me tell you, the mountain of bullshit that he shovels, right? The amount of bullshit that he shovels in this video, I had to talk about it because, I've done this before with Manager Marty. And if you notice in the title, I put Magician Manager Marty because, like a magician, he is not really doing magic. He is playing tricks and pulling rabbits out of a hat, out of his ass, wherever he's getting it from. And so I wanted to go over the video and go over his talking points and give my take. Because why not? I got a 4-hour drive. I'm not going to talk about this the whole 4 hours, but I just want to go over it because why not? Because I enjoy the sport of boxing, and when bullshit gets spewed across time and space in regards to boxing and whatnot, because for some reason people just can't keep it boxing. They gotta throw a lot of bullshit out there. They gotta create narratives and all this, that, and the third. We can't focus on the fighters having a fight. We have to go into all the bullshit surrounding that because we hate a particular fighter or we love a particular fighter more than others, and if their favorite fighter challenges my favorite fighter, I have to go after their favorite fighter. And so this is basically what it comes down to. And of course, a lot of people have a lot of personal issues with a lot of these boxers, a lot of the promoters and trainers. And so because we have platforms like YouTube, they are able to put that shit out there. They're able to see the hate, the seething hatred they have. They're able to put it out there and try to convince other people to hate just as much without relaying all the relevant facts. They like to leave shit out. So this is a perfect example of that, what Manager Marty goes on to say here. Bullshit Manager Marty begins to spew. So I'm into this video, and then let's see what happens.
Because listen, you got this. That's the elephant in the room. Because there's only, and especially when you're a black man, if the only thing that you've ever been done is sued, is got sued, because you probably never sued anyone for anything. No, so you won't understand this. It's big business.
Let me stop right there. Is he using the race card again? I keep telling y'all this is not good, especially as a black man.
Well, let me stop you right there. Magician Marty asked if Bill is using the race card again. What? He's simply stating the truth, the facts. What's up? Praise the Lord. How you doing this morning? Bill Haney is talking about how it is for black people to exist in this country. So how is that pulling the race card, right? He is giving his interpretation and his point of view, right, on how black folks are treated in this country in all aspects of society, including the business of boxing. So, I mean, I don't know what's wrong with that, right? There's plenty of evidence that racism exists, that racism existed in this country throughout time, and still exists today. There's plenty of evidence of that. Happy Easter, praise the Lord. So, I mean, I don't understand what the problem is with this statement.
Black have to do with this? What?
He said he doesn't understand what being black has to do with this. Well, it's simply because when you being black in the sport of boxing and trying to chart your own path, there is going to be a level of discrimination. There's going to be a level of unfair treatment, as is plain to see. That's what being black has to do with it.
You were not being able to say
What's good, Nathan?
Whether or not he was experienced in filing a lawsuit or not had to do with this. It's big business. That's what Bill Haney said.
Yeah, he's talking about the sport of boxing. When you're a professional boxer, business is being conducted because you're a professional fighter. You have to get paid. There has to be contracts, all these different things. And so that's what Bill's referring to. And guess what? Filing lawsuits is part of big business. That's why you have insurance. That's why you hire lawyers on retainer. That's why big business, big business corporations, they have a team of lawyers that they hire, that work directly for them. They pay their salaries. So they're called in-house lawyers, right? So lawsuits and fighting against lawsuits is part of business in general, and that does not exclude the sport of boxing. Lawsuits happen in the sport of boxing, right? Didn't Bob Arum and them sue Al Heyman? I mean, lawsuits happen in the sport of boxing. What are you talking about?
Bill Haney said, especially as a black man, use the term big business.
Okay.
That's a shame.
What is shameful about that? Is he going to explain why it's a shame? I don't think so. Just like I thought. He said it's a shame, but doesn't explain why it's a shame. This is classic. Indeed, actually, this is classic shaming language, right? This is shaming language. He's trying to shame Bill for talking about how filing the lawsuit is part of big business, but won't go in to explain why it's shameful. This is kind of crazy right here.
Let me graduate you and educate you. You did. Yeah. Not only did we work with all of the promoters, we understand that business and what business represents.
Not only did we work with all of the promoters, but we understand what business represents. That's interesting that Bill Haney said that. I have a question on that. Since he just said that they work with all the promoters and they understand what big business represents. The Haneys I'm talking about. So then how come when it was time to do a purse bid for the Sandor Martin fight, none of the promoters that you've done business with on behalf of DHP wanted to put up any money?
Well, that's simple. Because Devin Haney refuses to sign with promoters basically as their fighter, right? So he does not want to be a fighter under any promotional agency or any promotional company other than his own. Now, in order to facilitate certain things within his career, he has done shorter contracts with certain promoters. Now, in regards to Sandor Martin, Devin Haney lost, right, to Ryan Garcia, but then, why? God damn it! Hold on, my bad. Look, the reason that none of these promoters came to put up any money for the Sandor Martin fight is because Devin had lost to Ryan Garcia, even though it was overturned to a no contest because Ryan Garcia is a drug cheat, but also because Devin does not want to sign to any promotional company. He wants to do his own thing, but he wants to partner with other promotional companies to get the fights that he wants to get. So it's about being able to fight the competition. That's why he's signing to them, right? But with the Sandor Martin thing, they tried to freeze Devin Haney out and try to devalue him, right? In order to devalue him because of what had happened with Ryan Garcia and what had happened with Devin not trying to sign to a promoter. That's a simple answer. That's a simple question.
Money where your mouth is. When you believe in someone as an athlete, when you're a promoter, you put your money up. As a professional boxing manager like myself, we put the money up.
All right, so if a promoter believes in you, right, they're going to put the money up for you to sign to them, right? They're going to put the money up. Oh my God. They keep, I don't know why I keep saying it's connected to my goddamn headset. Hold on. Promoters put money up to get fighters to sign. Now, hold on. God damn it. Now, Devin had been able to partner with promotional companies, but remain independent, right? And not actually be a part of that promotional company stable, because he is an active promoter. So he wants to remain an active promoter and stay signed to himself. So therefore, he's not going to sign to any other promotional agency as their fighter, like like Shakur would, or like Jerron Boots Ennis did, and other fighters, right? Floyd Austin, all these people that Floyd Schofield, and different fighters. Ryan Garcia, he signed a Golden Boy. He is a Golden Boy fighter, right? So this is what Devin does not want to be. So they are not going to. Why would they put money up if he's not going to sign to them? The promoters get the money from the platforms that they show the fights on. The Zone, used to be Showtime, used to be ESPN. That's where they get the money from. So Devin is able to go directly to these platforms, while partnering with people like Eddie Hearn, because Eddie Hearn had the connections. He had the connections with these platforms, and so he was able to get in that way, right? So that's I mean, what are we talking about? Promoters, if they believe in you, they're going to want you to sign to them and be under their banner. That's just how it works.
How come none of the promoters?
And Magician Marty, what do you manage in the sport of boxing? Because I've never heard you explain that. You say you're a manager. I've heard that you might work for Bill. I don't know what the fuck. But what are you managing? I don't understand. I never understood that.
Money up. How come none of the promoters put their money where their mouth is? Since the Haneys did business with all of the promoters. In fact, what did happen though with all of the promoters, Bill Haney and Devin walked to every promoter that they've done business with their hand out. You don't know what I'm talking about? Let's go down memory lane for a second. The first time they was with Eddie Hearn, had their hand out, signed a contract for what? Guaranteed purse. I just told y'all what guaranteed purses mean. Standard.
Now, with their handout, first of all, the promoters don't pay fighters out of their own pocket. They don't pay the fighters out of their own pocket. What they did was go to Eddie Hearn for Eddie Hearn's connections to the money with the Zone and Matchroom, right? But Matchroom is a promotional company that showcase their fights on the Zone, and the Zone pays them to do so. Eddie Hearn gets money from the Zone, and Eddie Hearn pays the fighter that money to fight on the Zone. So Devin did not go. He needed a platform to fight on. He needed somewhere he could go where he can, put the fights on. They did not. So you might as well say any fighter that has a promoter is going to that promoter with their hand out. They want to get paid to fight. Yes, they are professional fighters. They want to get paid. So this statement in and of itself is hot garbage. It is asinine, because every professional fighter that fights for money, you could say that they got their hand out. You could say Tank Davis, Tonka Truck Davis has his hand out. Jerome Boots Ennis has his hands out. Canelo Alvarez has his hand out. Bud Crawford has his hand out, because somebody has to pay these fighters to fight. Queen Sister Cameron, how you doing this morning? Somebody has to pay the fighters to fight. So with you saying that Devin and Bill went to these promoters with their hand out, you're saying every professional fighter has their hand out. Yes, they want to get paid to fight, motherfucker. Xander, what's good? Happy Ice Money Jesus Day. You funny. What's good, Xander? What's good, nephew? So every fighter that fights professionally is going to have their hand out. Pay me to fight, motherfucker. That's how it works. I don't understand the disconnect. Manager Marty is trying to make it seem like Bill and Devin are begging for money. No, they're fighting for money. What are we talking about? This is who thinks this motherfucker's intelligent? God damn.
In the contract just a few minutes ago, did I not? Minimum and maximum. Guaranteed purse, right? Okay, no problem.
Wait. So Devin and Bill they're not supposed to get a guaranteed purse like every other fighter who wants a guaranteed purse. Unless you get a percentage split, you're still. Oh, he gets on my nerves too, but I have to highlight his asininity. You understand what I'm talking about? Somebody got to do it, because this is the nonsense that's being spewed out here in the boxing YouTube world and in the boxing world in general, that these motherfuckers run with, that think like, oh, Marty the magician knows what the fuck he's talking about. He doesn't. Ooh, he wants a guaranteed purse. Oh my God. A boxer wants a guaranteed purse? What the fuck are we talking about? Boxers get guaranteed purses? What? Devin supposed to fight for free? Help me understand what the fuck this dude's talking about. And how, what? Fighters in a professional realm fight for fucking money. UFC fighters, PFL fighters, bare knuckle motherfucking fighters, kangaroo fighters, these cock fighters, pit bull fighters, these motherfuckers all fight for money. What are we talking about? This motherfucker's, oh my God.
They was with Lou DiBella too, but I'm gonna leave that alone. Okay, but let's stay with right here.
that. Give me a Romeo Lima Charlie. Chat. Put an RLC in the chat. It was connected to all right, good. I don't know how much you heard, but manager Marty is talking about Devin signing with Bob Arum for a 3-fight deal, right? He did that for Undisputed. He did that to get Undisputed. He had to fight Kambosos twice, and he had to fight. The third fight had to be whoever Bob Arum chose, so that he can get Undisputed. And yes, he was also going to get paid at the same time. So Bob Arum, he signed with Bob Arum. He signed under Top Rank to get Undisputed. Bada boom, bada bing. He did that. He did not re-sign with them. Yes, he got money for it. This is what happens in the sport of boxing. But manager Marty wants you to believe that Devin did something. Am I good now, y'all? This is some bullshit. I don't know what keeps going on. This damn headset, they don't even have. It's not even turned on right now. Or it shouldn't be. But whatever. Anyway. Yeah. So Devin Devin signed a 3-fight deal at Top Rank to get Undisputed and get paid at the same time. Manager Marty wants you to believe that this is like begging or something, like he's a panhandler. Oh, with the handout. Every fucking professional fighter has their fucking handout there. Come on now.
Did their agenda succeed for them being Undisputed? Yes. But the ultimate agenda was what? Guaranteed contract. So that they can get a purse. Because they know Devin Haney is not a big ticket seller. Let's keep it 100. Okay.
Now, his ultimate goal was to get a guaranteed purse. No, his ultimate goal was to fight for Undisputed. If he wanted to get a guaranteed purse, he could have continued to fight and partner with Eddie Hearn, right? He could have got guaranteed purses that way, or he could have partnered with PBC. No, the Undisputed path was through Top Rank. The primary goal for signing with Top Rank is to get Undisputed. He could have partnered with any other promotional company without signing a contract to fight bums, to fight other fighters. He could have. What are we talking about? No, the primary goal for signing with Top Rank was to get Undisputed. He did not get a lot of money to fight Kambosos. He got a flat fee both times. Kambosos got paid. Kambosos got paid off of Devin, and that's why they're best friends right now. Kambosos, that is Devin's boy. Kambosos is always riding for Devin because Devin gave Kambosos an opportunity to make a shitload of money with that first fight being a 40,000 seater that was sold out. Yes, the next fight wasn't as much, but nonetheless, Devin did not get a high payday for the Kambosos fight and for the both Kambosos fights. He started getting he got his payday, well, not as a fighter, right? Not as a fighter. I'm not sure if he had any promotional money or if he was an actual promoter during the Kambosos fight. I'm not sure about that. No, not thanks to. Well, yeah, thanks. Yes, Kambosos also, right? Kambosos also. He gave Devin an opportunity to get undisputed. That's all he did, because he didn't get a lot of money from Kambosos. Kambosos got paid. You understand what I'm talking about? So that's what happened there. No, the primary goal for signing with Top Rank was to get undisputed. Point blank in the motherfucking period. Devin was terribly overpaid when Eddie was passing out all the... No, he was not. What are we talking about? Terribly overpaid. Devin was getting $3 million for gambling. So what? As he should have. Now you saying he's overpaid. Whatever, man. Not only did he get paid $3 million, he also got his promotional fees.
Devin
sound like this guy Staffy sound like a little hater over there. It's all good.
Devin Haney fought the two opponents that Bob Arum wanted him to fight, because they went over there with their hand out.
Staffy, Tank got $80,000 for Pedraza because he did not want to stand on his own, and he took what they gave him. Devin, that makes Devin smarter than Tank, and that's thanks to Bill. Thanks to Bill, Devin was able to move correctly and smartly in the early part of his career. Tank got $80K from Pedraza because he just accepted what they would give them. That's on Tank. That's not on Devin. That doesn't mean Devin was overpaid. That means Tank was underpaid because he was just happy to get his $80K. That's all that was. How come my speakers handle all the capping? From manager Marty.
And then when that...
I mean, listen, man. Somebody got to talk about it.
Concluded. What did they do? They went over to Eddie Hearn, locked into another contract, multi-fight, by the way, multi-fight deal with Eddie Hearn, with their hand out. Now, you know what somebody would say? Manager Marty, you hating. You don't have no proof. Okay, here's the proof. Devin Regis Progress, right? Gary. I had a question on that.
First of all, J-Man was good. Devin partnered with Eddie Hearn and Matchroom to fight Regis Progress. It was not the same deal as it was with Top Rank. Devin went over there and partnered back with Eddie Hearn for one fight at a time. You said it was a multi-fight deal, but you're about to shoot yourself in the foot. You're about to shoot yourself in the foot with this one, because you use the fact that he fought Regis Progress to say, oh, well, because you fought Regis Progress, who was a matchroom fighter. No, wait. Regis Progress ain't no goddamn matchroom fighter. Who does Regis Progress sign to? No, he might be. Whatever. The fact of the matter is, he fought one fight at a time with Eddie Hearn as a promotional partner with Devin signed under Devin Haney Promotions. Oh, he is J-Man. So, Devin did not sign a multi-fight deal with Eddie Hearn to fight Regis Progress. Regis Progress is one fighter. He acting like Regis Progress is two fighters. And the fight that he had before that, before Kambosos, that was again the same situation. That's how he was able to sign with Top Rank for 3 fights and not have any issues, because he wasn't signed as a matchroom fighter. He partnered with Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn got paid off of Devin's fights. Now we're not. Otherwise, Eddie wouldn't do it. He just didn't. He didn't get paid as much as he could have if Devin was signed to him. So therefore, he thought, well, if I keep doing this way, if I keep going this route with Devin, eventually he will sign to me. So, yeah, what are we talking about?
How come Eddie Hearn was at the press conference when Devin Haney fought Ryan Garcia? See, I asked this before, and I'm still waiting for an answer. And if any of you know Bill Haney,
now I don't know Bill Haney, but I know why he was there. It was because once again, he was signed. He was partnered. He had a partnership deal with Eddie Hearn for that particular fight. Why? Because Eddie Hearn has his fighters fight on DAZN. He needed that pathway to DAZN to fight Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia is a Golden Boy fighter, not a Matchroom fighter. So you just killed your own argument. After the Regis Prograis fight, he fought Ryan Garcia, who is a Golden Boy fighter. You're trying to say, well, Eddie Hearn's there, therefore Devin's his fighter. No. It was a promotional partnership, because guess what? Devin's promotional company is not as established as Matchroom's. Matchroom goes back 2 generations of people. Barry Hearn and also Eddie Hearn. Same thing with Top Rank. It was Muhammad Ali, and then Bob Arum took it from him. These are established promotional companies. So Devin is not as established. That is clear as day. So of course, yeah, he's going to do what he needs to do to make sure he gets the best fights, to get the best fights for his fighters, to get on the best platform, the biggest stage for the biggest fights possible. You know what I'm saying? That's why he did that. That's why Eddie Hearn's there. Golden Boy fighters and Matchroom fighters both fight on DAZN. Devin did not want to partner with Oscar De La Fishnet. So he went with what he knew. The devil you know, right? The devil he knew at that point in time was Eddie Hearn. Bada boom, bada bing, Eddie Hearn was there. Where's the confusion? Where's the... No one answered that question? Maybe you wasn't listening.
Because some content creators be watching me, but they don't be in the live chat because they don't want y'all to know they watching. Ask Bill Haney, how come Eddie Hearn was sitting at a seat? He was sitting in a seat at the table and talking on a microphone at the press conferences when Ryan Garcia fought Devin Haney. What was he there for?
What was he there for? That's a great question. I did not know why he was there, right? Because after what had happened when Eddie Hearn turned his back on him, or is he talking about, wait, which, okay. So, I just explained it. He had a partnership deal with Eddie Hearn because of his connections to DAZN, right? So that he could have his fights showcased. It's simple. It's simple.
And then another question for Bill Haney. How come y'all took less money to fight Ryan Garcia when y'all was a champion? In the percentage split, y'all took less. And then the next comes, why y'all run over the turkey a la cheek with y'all?
So the reason he gave Ryan Garcia more money and so that Ryan Garcia would fight him. Because we know that when they first tried to make that fight happen, Floyd Mayweather stuck his nose in, tried to manipulate the situation, and so Ryan Garcia pulled out. In order to get him back to the table, they offered him more money because Devin wanted to fight Ryan Garcia. So he had to give up a little money. He gave up 5% or whatever the case may be. These are not hard questions. Yes, pocket watching. That's why I said, see, you said he grasping at straws. That's why I call him the magician, right? Because he's trying to pull a rabbit out of a motherfucking hat. He gave Ryan more money to get Ryan to fight him. What are we talking about? When you really want to fight somebody, and you might be the clear A side, but the other side, they trying to act like they're the A side and they want more money, you might have to give up a little bit more. It's called negotiating, and this is what you agree to, right? Devin had one belt. Ryan Garcia, they had the story. They had the three up. They had 3 up in the amateurs, right? They fought 6 times in the amateurs, 3 up. And it made for a great story. It was very controversial. So yeah, that's what Ryan Garcia brought to the table. And so they wanted to fight him. They wanted to, showcase how they would do against a powerful guy like Ryan Garcia. And that's what that was. So he gave him a little more money. Bada boom, bada bing, that's it. Simple as that.
And got to fight an opponent that the matchmaker's telling y'all to fight, with y'all hand out for a guaranteed purse again as a prerequisite to fight Ryan Garcia.
Here we go with the handout bullshit. Why are you saying handout? Fighters, Ryan Garcia had his handout. He wanted to get paid to fight Devin. Devin wanted to get paid to fight Ryan. Ryan wanted to get paid to fight Tank. Tank wanted to get paid to fight Ryan. This is what happens when you are a professional fighter, or when you are in any professional sport. When you are a professional sportsman, you get paid to participate in that sport. Yeah, you get a guaranteed salary every year. You get a guaranteed salary, and then, well, not a guaranteed salary. Some players might get a guarantee, whether they can complete the season or not, because they are that valuable to the team. So they might get a guaranteed salary. Like, even if they get injured and they can't complete the rest of the season, or a good amount of the season, they still get paid. This is what happens when you're a professional sportsman. You get paid. If you want to call it handout, whatever. You want to call it handout, that you can call it that. But you are fighting for money. This is some bullshit. This is some bullshit.
Tom, y'all want to undercut.
How dare you want to get paid to fight? The fuck are we talking about?
Once again, with your hand out. Begging for a guaranteed purse.
Begging for a guaranteed purse. So when a fighter wants a guarantee, they're begging. When a fighter wants a guarantee to provide the service that they're going to provide, they're begging. Okay. So I guess every fighter who gets a guarantee or wants a guarantee is begging. Okay.
I thought the reason why you filed the lawsuit was because y'all was your own boss and you represent the company of DHP. So then how come in the last 3 to 4 years y'all been running the promoter after promoter?
Wait. Who said that they sued? What? What? They sued because of his business? What are you talking about? Like, what? They sued for breach of contract because Ryan Garcia was a fucking drug cheat. He violated and broke the contract. They sued for that reason. What?
Oh. Okay, I digress.
And where we come from is the bullshit. That's what.
What's funny is he think he eating. He think he eating, but he ain't eating. He ain't eating. This ain't eating at all.
Stop. Where we come from is the BS. That's what they want you to do. Who is they, Bill Haney? I hope you ain't saying the white man. I hope you're not saying law enforcement.
When did Bill say the white man? What? He half retarded. What are you talking about? Did Bill say white man? This white man that? Why are you trying to create a narrative that Bill is race baiting when Bill is not talking about race? Again, Marty the magician pulling rabbits gerbils, capybaras, and echidnas out his ass and out the hat, trying to make Bill look bad. This is a desperate attempt to paint Bill Haney in a negative light. Why? Because he hates Bill Haney. He hates Devin Haney. He loathes their existence in the sport of boxing. But he eats off of them. His channel, delusional as hell. It's extremely delusional. Help me understand this train of logic. Marty purports himself to be a logical, smart man, right? But he's where is it going to come out?
You're not saying the government. Who is they? That's why Bill won't click that link, because he know I'm going to challenge him on these things.
He won't click the link because why would he give you any shine? You want Bill to desperately click his link. Every time you talk about Bill, you beg him to go on your channel. You're trying to entice him. You're trying to provoke him and trigger him to go to your channel so that you can try to trip him up like knockoff Penny Pat tries to do. Right? By y'all try to paint him to be a liar and all these different things using manipulation and gaslighting. Y'all want to gaslight Bill on your channel so that you can embarrass him and make him look bad. So why would he go to your channel? This is nonsense. Wow.
Who is they? Who is they that want y'all to be on the BS? Because the last time I checked, when Devin Haney sucker punched that carnival worker.
All right, here's a lie, right? When Devin Haney sucker punched a carnival worker, first of all, the carnival worker was in his face talking shit, being belligerent and being very aggressive. And Devin never made contact with said carnival worker. So there was no sucker punch. It did not land because Devin had people between him and the provocateur. He could have been an agent provocateur, as a matter of fact. If you guys don't know what an agent provocateur is, y'all go look that up. They were heavily involved with the Black Panthers. Let's just say that.
There was no white man standing around. There was no government standing around. And there was no one else standing around that opposes black people, that entice and influence your...
Bill did not say anything about a white man or the government in this interview. When did Bill mention they being white men and government? The guy that approached Devin in an aggressive manner was a Hispano. He was a Spaniard. He was of Latin descent or South American, whatever the fuck you want to call it. He was Hispanic, probably a Mexican in Southern California. There are plenty of Mexican racist motherfuckers that don't like black folks. There are plenty of those of Latin descent, Hispanics, who actually have ancestry in Europe, by the way. Y'all know Spain is in Europe, right? Latin hails from Europe. So when the Latin motherfuckers came and settled and raped and pillaged in South America, they then spread their seed amongst the indigenous folks and brought about Mexicans, brought about Central Americans, brought about all those motherfuckers, Colombians, Brazilians, parts of Brazil, parts of Venezuela. They are of European descent. So the guy that aggressed Devin Haney and almost got punched was Hispanic, not black. And it's not a sucker punch if you are in my face and you are being belligerent and you are being aggressive and you are coming at me in a certain way. You best be prepared to get punched. You understand what I'm talking about? And a matter of fact, in the state of California, there is such thing as assault and battery. If for assault to be a thing, they do not have to land a punch on you. They don't have to even swing at you. Assault can be like a threat. It could be anything like that. It could be a threat. It could be your posture, how you know what I'm saying? You can do that. That's assault. And then battery is when you actually put your hands on somebody. All right? So let's not get that twisted.
From physically assaulting and committing on a civilian.
Now Marty is lying. See, this is what you call slander. This is slander because Devin did not commit battery against this guy because he did not land the punch. It could be considered attempted battery. It could be considered that. But if the person across from you is assaulting you with their body language and with their language and with their aggressiveness, you are then capable and able to defend yourself because you believe somebody might attack you and put hands on you. This is self-defense. As a matter of fact, this is the best form of self-defense in California because if you wait to get hit, to hit somebody back, it goes into a different realm. That is no longer self-defense. That's called mutual combat. And in the case of mutual combat, both of you guys can be held liable. But Devin did not land the punch, so it's not battery. That is known as slander. Words matter, and his mouth is full of shit. Exactly. So Devin attempted to punch this aggressor and missed. So it was no battery involved. It was no battery involved. And Mexicans are completely and fully capable of being racist towards black people. As a matter of fact, they are. Not all of them, but plenty of them are. And if you have, in the sport of boxing, a lot of Hispanic, Latin descended, people in positions of power, like Mauricio Suleiman and, Espinoza, all these people, well, they are perfectly capable of being racist, right? It just is what it is. But that Bill's not talking about any particular group of people. He's just saying they, right? But you are you are putting words in his mouth, right? Because you're a magician, not a warlock, not a sorcerer who actually performs actual magic, not a baba, right? In Hodun, right? You're not actually magical. You're a trickster, right? You're lying. Devin never landed that punch.
At that carnival. So who is they that want y'all to be on the BS? Or want us as black people to be on the BS? Because I know that's what...
Oh, and speaking, he called the guy a civilian. What is Devin in the military? Is Devin a cop? Devin is a square ass nigga. He's a civilian who happens to be a professional boxer. Devin's a civilian. He's not a gangster. He's not a mobster, right? He is not a street nigga. So what are we talking about? Man, this dude. Excuse me.
I have another question on that. If you was talking about it was business to file a lawsuit against Ryan Garcia because of DHP, which you represent, then how come you didn't file a lawsuit on Bernard Hopkins when Bernard Hopkins pushed you? Let me rewind the tape and say that again. When Bernard Hopkins pushed Bill Haney in his hometown, in his backyard in Vegas, how come Bill Haney didn't file a lawsuit against Bernard Hopkins?
Now, first of all, Bernard Hopkins shoulder bumped Bill Haney and ran off, right? Now, what would Bill have sued Bernard Hopkins for? It was a shoulder bump, right? It was a shoulder bump. It was a shoulder bump, and Bill took it on the shoulder, literally, and kept it pushing. He did not want to sue Bernard Hopkins. He was not in a fight with Bernard Hopkins. He did not have a contract with Bernard Hopkins to fight in a ring. So you're saying, why didn't Bill sue Bernard Hopkins, it was because it was a little bitch ass shoulder bump. Sugar Free Mars and Bill, how you doing, Queen? How you doing? Good morning to you. Bill did not sue Bernard Hopkins because he didn't want to. For what? Why wait? Why spend the money on lawyers to sue Bernard Hopkins for a bitch ass shoulder bump? I wouldn't have sued either. What are we talking about? What, like, this is not even it's not even a good analogy. It's not even a good example because they were not in a contract. Look, Devin sued Ryan Garcia for breach of contract. How did Ryan Garcia breach contract? He was on performance enhancing drugs. It's simple. That was not the case with Bill and Bernard Hopkins. Bernard Hopkins was not in a contract with Bill Haney. What? You know what I'm saying? Like, there was no reason for Bill to sue. Like, if I'm on the street and a motherfucker come up to me talking shit and then they bump me, I'm not gonna sue him. No, you shoulder bump me. I might grab you by your fool ass neck. If you bump me and walk past me, I might grab you by your neck and and perform a sweep or something like that and slam your ass on the ground. Why would I sue you? I'm not gonna waste my energy and money to sue you for that. I'm gonna beat your ass. What? This is crazy. Why didn't Bill sue Bernard Hopkins? Because for what? For a shoulder bump? No, man. No, this is not the same situation. See, he's trying to conflate Devin suing Ryan Garcia. Because the idea they're trying to push, the narrative they're trying to push is that Devin Haney sued Ryan Garcia for fighting him. For a fight. That's not why Devin sued, right? Like, it would have got dismissed. It would have got dismissed by the judge. If they went to the judge and said, yeah, I want to sue him for fighting me in a sanctioned fight that we signed a contract to fight. Oh, well, did he breach a contract? No, he just fought me. He beat my ass. He won. I'm suing him for winning a fight. No, that would have gotten dismissed. No. They had grounds to sue because Ryan Garcia used performance-enhancing drugs, which breached the contract. I mean, what are we missing here?
But he filed a lawsuit. Was sanctioned in the ring?
You see that shit? He said he sued Ryan Garcia for a professional fight that was sanctioned in the ring. That's not why Devin sued. Notice, he is not going to mention that Ryan Garcia was on performance-enhancing drugs, and that's why Devin sued. No, he's going to make it look like Devin sued Ryan for beating his ass, because that's the narrative that all these motherfuckers is pushing, and he's just perpetuating that narrative and leaving the crucial, important, pertinent information out. These people never reach the bottom, do they? No, they don't. It's crazy.
But Bernard Hopkins pushed them outside of the ring. When they were outside of the ring, there was no consequences for that.
This is a horrible comparison. This is a false comparison. You just stated how it was a false comparison, but you're leaving out the crucial information. Ryan Garcia breached the contract. When you have a contract, a legally binding contract with another party, and you breach that contract, you can and will get sued. It's simple, right? But no. Magician Marty wants you to believe that Ryan Garcia got sued because he fought Devin. I mean, this is crazy.
But he claims that they want us to be on the BS. Okay, that don't appeal to you. I'm gonna take it the next step further. Who is they want us to be on the BS? But no, Bill Haney.
How many times are you gonna ask that question?
I'm telling everybody you 50 and 0 in the streets. I got the tape queued up if y'all don't believe. Remember when Bill Haney told Mayweather he's 50 and 0 in the streets? Y'all remember that? When Bill Haney was going back and forth with Floyd Mayweather, was they around?
I mean, this dude's going back to Bill versus Floyd's conversation. Listen, Bill said that he was 50-0 in the streets because he was of the streets. He was a street dude and made it out alive. He is a reformed street motherfucker. He is a reformed street motherfucker who came out on top. That's what he means by that. But of course, Magician Marty is going to make it look like something else.
They you were referring to in this interview, the they that want us to be on BS, was the they around when you was on BS talking about how much you still in the streets? Which one is it, Bill?
Bill was saying he's still in the streets because he comes from the streets, right? The streets are in him, and so he still has an ear to the streets. He still has access to the streets. He still has feelers in the streets. Not because he's going out there and doing street shit, which is what Magician Marty wants you to believe, that Bill is saying that he's still doing street shit. No, Bill still has a connection to the streets. See, I was never a street dude, right? But I wasn't a Crip or a Blood, you know what I'm saying? But I grew up in a Blood neighborhood. I grew up in Crip neighborhoods. I have Crip and Blood friends. I got Crip and Blood family. I have a connection to these motherfuckers. I got a connection to the streets. I was never a street dude though. But I can make a phone call. I can make one singular phone call in LA and be good. You know what I'm talking about? If I had issues, if I had trouble, if I had something that was going on, like I did back in 2005, the last actual street fight I ever been in was in 2005, y'all. And it was because this dude, I was messing with his baby mama. He did not like that. So he wanted to have a head up fade. But he was from Hoovers. He was a Hoover dude. And all I did was call my brother, who was also not a Crip or a Blood. Right? My brother's not a Crip or a Blood. My sister is a Blood. My stepdad was a Blood. You know what I'm saying? My cousins are Bloods. You know what I'm saying? I got cousins that are Crips. But nonetheless, I called my brother and said, hey man, just meet me up here at this park, right? Or meet me at the homie house and then we're gonna go to the park. He made a phone call to the same phone call I could have made to my cousin, Queen Sister Cameron, dropping that super chat. I appreciate you, Queen. Thank you, sister. Oh man, that is such a blessing. That really touched my heart there. I appreciate you. I appreciate the love. She says, enjoy your content and perspective, praying for continued blessings to you and your beautiful family. I appreciate you. Same to you as well, Queen Sister Cameron. I appreciate you. Hey, y'all go make sure you drop your link. You too, Sugar Free Mars. Make sure you drop your link in the chat. Y'all go check out Sugar Free Mars as well. But y'all already know Sugar Free Mars. So y'all go. Are you doing a live stream anytime soon, Sister Cameron and Sugar Free? I missed your live stream, Cameron, much to my chagrin. But I called my brother. This dude told my cousin from so I got a cousin from Inglewood family, and I got a cousin from Crenshaw Mafia, right? They're both Bloods, right? Those are both Blood neighborhoods. And he called the one from Crenshaw Mafia, and he brought like 3 cars full of Bloods to the homie's house before we went to the park. I said, man, what the hell? I said, what all y'all niggas doing here, man? But like I said, I can push a button and make it happen. But that doesn't mean I'm a street nigga or I'm doing street shit. No, that means I have a connection to the streets. If somebody really wanted to, I could get an interview done with Munchie B and both Munchie B's. I can reach out to people to make that type of shit happen. But I'm not a street dude. That's it. You see what I'm saying? But this is what they call framing, y'all, in journalism. This is what they call framing. Marty is framing to make Bill look like a hypocrite, to make Bill look like he's begging for money, to make Bill look like a liar, right? To make Devin look like he just attacks people on the street for no reason. Attacks civilians. Oh, look, Devin out here just attacking motherfuckers. Like it wasn't provoked. That's not how this shit is. Man, this is bullshit, right? But I feel compelled to cover this type of shit because somebody has to, right? There are others that are doing different things in the sport. And I am, I can do this, and I will. J-Man says, that was my uncle, wasn't affiliated, but still had them connections. Yeah, I got mad connections. I got connections. Do I have connections in South Carolina? Hell no. Am I delusional? Hell no. I could not call somebody and have Crips and Blood showing up in South Carolina to handle my shit. No. But if I'm in LA, I'm good to go, right? But I'm not a street dude.
Are you a gangster or are you a gentleman? You can't have it both ways.
Why not? Bill is a reformed gangster and is now a gentleman. What's the problem? See, cats like manager Marty, cornballs like him, who grew up street adjacent probably, was probably bullied by street dudes and probably bullied by regular motherfuckers, probably bullied by jocks. Yeah, sugar-free margin, shit's crazy. Yeah, see, this is why I highlight this shit, because a lot of people don't know that this stupid shit's being said. He's a straight cornball. He was probably bullied by jocks, bullied by gangsters, bullied by regular motherfuckers. He was probably street adjacent and probably did not care to know anything about the streets, which is okay, that's fine. But so then maybe you should not speak about street shit if you have no awareness, or maybe you're just being intellectually dishonest. Exactly, it's the dumbest ish. Yeah, it's stupid.
You can't say you in the streets 50 and 0. You certified, you stamped, you an HFI street ninja. And you built like that, and you tough like that. You a gangster, and you G'd up.
When did Bill say any of that shit? When did Bill? He didn't say all that to Mayweather, did he? No, all he said to Mayweather, he said, he got an ear to the streets, he's in the streets, he's from the streets, which is all true shit. But he didn't say, I'm a big gangster, I'm HFI, all this other shit. He never said that. What are we talking about? See, this is that bullshit.
It's business when you file a lawsuit. So let me get this.
Yeah, because Bill is not doing, he's legit now. He is doing legit shit. Now, boxing is not the streets. Boxing is not the streets. So you're not going to handle violations in the sport of boxing as a professional like you would handle violations in the streets. If you street violate, you handle it one way. If you violate, you get handled one way. If you violate in a professional setting, in a professional sport, you handle it a different way. And the reason Bill was saying that is because Bill had information about Mayweather's children that had to do with the streets. And so Bill was just letting him know, I looked out for your babies, because the streets was trying to tear him apart. That's why he brought that up. See, context is everything. And when you leave out context, that's when the bullshit comes. Mr. Smeldom looking as thirsty as a bit. Exactly. These ninjas are undercover SAS monsters. Exactly. They and Zasty. Yeah, these motherfuckers crazy, man. But you can't fool me. You can't fool. You can fool all these other motherfuckers that listen and watch your channel that have a deep-seated hatred for the Haneys, because they're gonna they're going to eat it up. They're going to go with the confirmation bias and all that other shit. But you don't really want to be challenged, because when I went to your channel and went on your panel and tried to respectfully challenge you, you got me out of there and would not let me back up when you continued to spout the bullshit and I wasn't able to expound. So you don't want to be challenged by somebody that can bring the real logic to your idiocy.
So the they, which is the government, law enforcement, and or the white man, the they that want us to be on BS, then why are you running to the same they to file a lawsuit against somebody then? Which one is it?
They didn't. First of all, you don't file lawsuits with random white men. You don't file lawsuits with the police. You file lawsuit in the court that deals with those types of lawsuits. You use lawyers that deal with those types of lawsuits. It's not a criminal court. It is a civil court that you are taking them to. You're taking them to civil court for violating the contract. You have grounds to sue. Because again, you want the person that violated the contract to suffer the consequences of said violation. Therefore, you go the route that you're supposed to go, which is to file a lawsuit. Again, why is this so confusing? Is anybody else as confused as manager, magical magician Marty about this shit? I don't understand.
Oh, so the same they that want the blacks to be on the BS and crash out, they're the same they that you went to use their system to file a lawsuit.
He used a branch of their system. He used a component of their system to file the lawsuit. Why? Because we live in a society. I'm an anarchist, right? I am an anarchist by philosophy, and I practice anarchy as often as I can, right? Everybody does that, as a matter of fact, because when you get up in the morning, no one tells you when to take a shit. No one tells you when to brush your teeth. No one tells you when to eat if you're a full-grown adult. You go brush your own teeth. You go take a shit. You go outside and exercise. You do all those things of your own free will, and you have the freedom to do so. Everybody exercises in anarchy every single day. But as an anarchist, but most people aren't anarchists by philosophy. I'm an anarchist by philosophy, meaning in every aspect of life. I believe in zero authority figures. You understand what I'm saying? All anarchy means is no authority. But I understand that I live in a society where I cannot readily practice that 100% right now. So I go to work, I pay taxes, right? Every time I buy something, I pay taxes. Every time I get a paycheck, they take taxes out of my paycheck. But I understand that until I get into the position where I no longer need those aspects of society and I'm able to live freely on my own land and be self-sufficient, I have to exist within the society. And therefore, that's just what it is. But does that mean that every time somebody look at me wrong, every time somebody bump into me, I'm gonna call the police? No. But if I sign a contract with you, if I work for a company and I work 58 hours in 1 week and they own some bullshit, it withholds 16 hours of my money, I am going to go through the proper channels to get my money back. I'm gonna say, look, you need to give me my motherfucking money. I worked. If they refuse, then I can sue them. Right? I understand that that's what I have to do. But if a motherfucker in the street tries to rob me and they think they got the drop on me and I got my whistle on me and I'm able to blow that motherfucking whistle and save my life, that's how I'm gonna handle that. So in the street out there where I'm not protected by human resources, I'm not protected by labor laws, I am going to protect myself against an immediate threat, an immediate danger to myself. I'm going to handle that completely different than I'm going to handle a motherfucker withholding my funds. That's the difference. That to me, that is the perfect analogy for what Manager Marty is trying to conflate. He's trying to conflate how Bill would handle something in the streets versus how he would handle something in a professional setting like boxing. He's not going to go to Ryan Garcia's house with a gun and a bunch of dudes and force Ryan Garcia to transfer $1.1 million to his son's bank account. That's not how you do that, right? Because Ryan Garcia is going to call the police, and they're in the police and the justice system. They're not going to care that Ryan Garcia used performance enhancing drugs to fight Devin. They're not going to give a fuck about that. All they're going to care about is that these Negroes showed up to this Chicano's house and robbed him of $1.1 million. That's all they're going to care about. They're not going to care about any of that other shit. So let's be smart about this.
Oh, all right. I feel you, Bill Haney.
That's where we come from. Yeah. And guess what? That's where Dirk, that's where Thug just got off on, that's where Yellow Beezy, that's where historically they go, don't they? Yes.
Stop. He's saying if blacks do what they want us to do, which is to be on the BS, they wind up ending up where Dirk, Young Thug, and Yellow Beezy. He's talking about prison, right? So now he's a black activist again. See, this is what I keep trying to tell y'all. So now he want to be a black activist. Basically, what he's saying is,
see, this is why, you know, people like magical manager, magician Marty, they are truly what is wrong with the black community. Bill is trying to say, don't play into the bullshit like Dirk and Young Thug and all these motherfuckers did. You know what they did? Because, see, again, you're missing context, Manager Marty. You are deliberately leaving it out, I would say. Here's the problem with your statement about that. Here is what Bill is trying to say. Bill is trying to say, don't play into the bullshit like these people did. Because if you do, you end up where they're at. What have these people done? They have committed crimes, right? They killed people, and they talked about it in their fucking rap songs. They went on DJ Vlad and talked about it. They told on themselves. They got all these millions and millions of dollars rapping and continued to be on that bullshit, continue to be on the street shit, setting up hits, you know what I'm saying? All this silly nonsense like they want us to do, right? They want us to do it so that we can destroy ourselves, so that their hands are clean, so they can say, oh, see, look, black folks commit 50% of the crime and are 14% of the population. They want to continue that narrative. They want to push that propaganda and that bullshit, right? They want to continue that. And when Little Durks come about, Young Thugs come about, and these are famous black people, and they are still on the bullshit, this is what is highlighted. And they end up getting locked up. They end up getting made an example of. This is what Bill's talking about. I don't understand where the confusion lies.
The street or the hood, or if you from another country, I'm gonna break it down and translate it for you. The white man wants us to be on BS because it leads us as blacks. When we on the BS, it leads us to their prison system.
Okay. Yeah, that's correct. That is correct. I don't understand. This is true. These people don't want Bill saying shit, it's all disgusting. Yeah. It's nonsense.
They want us to be on that.
If he speaks positively, they're inflated. If it sounds if he stands on a square, they're inflated. They're obsessed with him. Yes, they are obsessed with him. Exactly.
And the example of that is what happened with Dirk, what happened to Young Thug, what happened to Yella Beezy. Yella Beezy, 3 black men, 3 black entertainers, 3 black rappers.
Now, I will say, are these guys, Lil Durk, Young Thug, are they dumbass? Are they idiots for that behavior? Yes, they are. They're responsible for their own demise. But that does not mean that that is not what they want. They, right? The powers that be. See, you say white man, right? It makes it muddies the waters, right? But we know it's the powers that be. It is the music industry elite. The elites, the dominant culture that want you to behave in this manner. You good, sugar-free Mars. Listen, that's the bottom line to it. Yeah. The elite class, right? If you want to say white, because the dominant culture happens to be those of the white culture, right? The white European culture in this country, that you can say that. But there are plenty of elite motherfuckers out there that will turn their back on their own people to maintain and be within that elite class. So yeah, but Bill did not say white man. He did not specify. But you want to, you want to put words in his mouth. Okay.
Prison. Because that's what they wanted from the beginning, the white man. But you ran to the white man, to use their criminal system, their civil system to file a lawsuit. Which one is it, gangster?
Which one is it? It's the civil lawsuit where gangster shit does not need to be involved. You don't need, listen, Ryan Garcia signed a contract, Devin Haney signed a contract. Ryan Garcia violated the contract, he's getting sued. What's the problem? He is going to use the system, the civil system, to sue Ryan Garcia. It's real, sugar-free Mars. So therefore, no gangster shit needs to be involved. There's no need for gangster shit. Bill is not a gangster anymore. He is reformed. He's a father who's raising children that are excelling in life. He is not a gangster. Bill never purported himself to be a gangster. He never said, oh, I'm this, I'm that. What he said was, he still has his ears to the streets. He still has access to the streets in order to know what's going on, in order to be connected to the people, right? I mean, I don't understand what the problem is.
I'm asking, I'm not mad at nobody. These are questions that I want to ask Bill Haney, because he won't come up here to talk to me. But he went on Fight Hub and said I was the fake manager. So now I'm the fake manager want to ask you these questions. You can't have it both ways, Bill. You can't be a gangster and an activist.
Why not? Well, y'all know what RBG is. Shout out to Dead Prez, right? What is RBG? It means number of different things. Red, black, and green. And also, it means revolutionary but gangster. Yeah, revolutionary but gangster. If you are trying to stop the violence, right? If you want to be part of a gang intervention program, and you want to understand how these gangs think, gang members think, how they live, you're going to have a reformed gang member on your team to help you navigate. Because that is the best type of person to do so. Just like in drug rehabilitation programs, counselors are going to be addicts, right? Because once you become addicted to drugs, you will always be addicted to drugs. It's just, you'll always be a drug addict. It just, now you're sober, right? Just like with an alcoholic. The best type of counselor for alcoholic rehabilitation are sober alcoholics, because they understand how to reach people. So there's nothing wrong with being an activist who used to be a gangster that is still connected to the streets. What are we talking about? See, this dude's a cornball, right? Like, I'm a square like a motherfucker. I was never in no gang. I did, when I was 16 and 17 years old, I got kicked out my mama's house. I got kicked out the house, and I had to do some shit. You know, I was on the streets. I was living in and out of group homes, kept getting kicked out. I did certain things, but, you know, 2 years of that type of shit, just 2 years, I don't consider myself to be a street dude even after all that. But the bottom line is, the people that got me back on the right path, right? They got back on the right path, that convinced me to go to Job Corps, get my GED, get into electrical work at the age of 18, give me a job at the age of 18 as an electrician before I joined the Army, was a former gang member. Yeah, he's a former gang member, and that's okay. He is now an activist. What are we talking about? See, it's if you know anything about any of this, like with LA street gangs, OGs who go to prison and get out, and they are reformed and try to do gang intervention in their hoods, right? Like Babu. Like, I interviewed Babu. He's from A-Tray Gangsta Crip. Right? I interviewed him on my channel before. Years ago. I think it was back in 2020. He spent 28 years in prison for murder, right? He killed some Bloods or whatever before he went to prison. And he went to prison for murder, and he got out. As a matter of fact, when I interviewed him, he had only been out for a few months, not even a year, I don't think. But he got involved in gang intervention programs, but he still lived in the hood. He still lived in the middle of A-Tray Gangsta Crip neighborhood, which is like 83rd, between 83rd and like 83rd and Manchester, right? Manchester is like, you could say 90th Street, but it's Manchester. So between 83rd and Manchester and east of Van Ness, right? They have a little section. He's still A-Tray Gangsta Crip. He's still a gangster. He's an OG. He is not active, but he's an OG who is an activist. What are we talking about? See, this guy right here is clearly street adjacent, probably not even street adjacent. He probably grew up in some suburb in New York or Philadelphia, where the hell he's from. Because if you understand anything about the streets, you understand that. If you are involved to some degree. Like, I was never heavily involved in that street life, but I know a lot of people who were. I fought gang members, you know what I'm saying, in high school and junior high school and, you know, beyond. You know what I'm saying? I've gotten shot at by gang members in Avalon Park. I was at Avalon Park. I was 13 years old. I took a bus, me and a homie, to go see a chick. To go see some chicks, right? We went to their house. Their parents were gone. We were 13, 14, 15, whatever the hell age we were. And we were wearing, you know, wearing blue or whatever the fuck we're wearing. We got hit up by some Avalon Crip motherfuckers. Because I was wearing red. We were wearing red. But we walked through the park after we left their house. We walked through the park, Avalon Crip. These motherfuckers saw us, said, "Where you from, cuz?" And before we could open our mouths, they pulling tools out. We dipped. We got shot at. My bad, y'all. Whenever I get phone calls, it fucks up my audio. Oh, well, they were probably babies themselves, if I recall. They were probably like just a couple years older than us, Sugar Free Mars. That's how it was. I mean, babies were out there banging. 12, 13, 14 years old, catching bodies. And they understood that. So, I mean, we were in the wrong place at the wrong time. We're in the wrong color. Trying to get down with the honeys. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, it just is what it is. I mean, we got shot at. We dipped. We dipped around. They got the bathrooms at the park. We dipped around the bathroom. Bathroom got shot up. But we got away. I ain't never ran so fast in my motherfucking life. That's so disgraceful for people who have been through. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it is disgusting. I don't agree with gangbanging. I thought it was stupid. That's why I never joined the gang. I was like, so you want me to run around shooting at people that is wearing a different color on the wrong street? For what? So I can get shot at too and get killed? I said, y'all motherfuckers stupid. And this is when I was still living in Compton. And right before I left Compton, Kelly Park Crip got blew up. That means that the whole set, they didn't all die, but a lot of them got shot up. Most of their people got shot up. And Kelly Park Crip no longer existed after that. But anyway, that's just what it was. I mean, when 13, 14, 15 years old, we're, as a matter of fact, it was probably 14 or 15, because I had moved away from Compton and I lived near Roland 60 Crip over in Crenshaw, the Crenshaw district. And we had to catch the bus from there to go to Compton, because Avalon Park is in Compton. So anyway, I mean, that's just what it was. I mean, unfortunate, but that's just what it is. Yeah. Like I said, I ain't never ran so fast in my life. But I mean, when you understand that street life, I mean, you understand that, yes, you can be a gangster and an activist. Yeah, you can. It is what it is. I've never been to the West Coast. Oh yeah, it's nice, man. There's many different. So in California, there are many different types of places in California. It's kind of wild, actually. California can be like 3 or 4 different states if it wanted to, right? If you wanted to break California up in 3 or 4 different states, you could do that.
Gangster and a civilian, which one is it?
He's a civilian now, right? Bill Haney's a civilian now. He is a non-active street dude who is reformed and is now living that civilian life. But you don't have to be a civilian. Listen, his son was never a street dude. See, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about his son. His son was signed to a contract to fight Ryan Garcia, and there were certain stipulations within that contract. They were violated by Ryan Garcia. So he had Ryan Garcia sued on behalf of his son, not himself.
Okay, there's more.
Did he beat him?
What did BH do? Talking about Bill Haney. He was talking about himself in third person. Did he beat him? What did you beat, Bill? What did you beat? Hold on, what did you beat, Bill? What did you beat? You beat the system? How you beat the system? You filed a lawsuit. No one put their hands on you physically except for Bernard Hopkins, and you didn't file a lawsuit against him. But yet you filed a lawsuit against a guy who put his hands and feet on your son.
When did Ryan Garcia kick Devin Haney? Did Ryan Garcia kick Devin Haney? Once again, Bill worked for Devin. Devin gave Bill the go-ahead to sue Ryan Garcia. That's just how this works, right? Now, but again with Bernard Hopkins. Bernard Hopkins gave him a bitch-ass shoulder check and ran off. Why would he sue Bernard Hopkins? See, there has to be damages. What damages did Bill Haney suffer from getting shoulder checked by Bernard Hopkins? What damages were there? There were no damages. Why would he sue? If anything, he would press charges for assault or in battery, right? But why would Bill do that? There would be no point, right? Whereas with Devin, his son and his boss, a contract was breached, and there was much damage. There were damages for Devin Haney to sue for. So what? Again, how smart do we believe this magical magician Marty is? What kind of goofy ass laugh is that? It's just a great question. See, that goofy laugh comes from the idea that magician Marty thinks that he is eating right now, but I am demonstrating that he's eating nothing but air. He's on a vegan diet right now, right? No offense to vegans out there, but magician Marty is on a vegan diet right now if he's eating.
Under the guise and disguise of it being business? Come on.
You don't have to say guise and disguise. That's redundant.
Make no sense.
It is business. Part of business, period, is to sue people. That's why, again, like I said earlier, these large corporations, they have in-house lawyers that work for them round the clock, 24/7. And even with smaller corporations, they have lawyers on retainer. This is part of the business. Yeah, sugar-free Mars, guys in disguise. Like, what? No, you can say guys, that's it. And there was no this up in a different way to make yourself look like you're not you. But a guise is, I ain't even got to explain it. What is it? MILF? Is that your name? MILF? Yeah, that's true. I think I can't. Said about Mark. He be saying, he on some silly shit. That's just what it is. I can't read the whole paragraph right now, but I get the gist of what you're saying.
That makes absolutely no sense. So he can file a lawsuit on behalf of his son, who's a grown man, who was fighting in a professional sanctioned.
Do I have to explain it again? That Bill works for Devin? So Bill, on the behalf of DHP and Devin Haney, sued Ryan Garcia.
Inside of a boxing ring, but yet he didn't file a lawsuit against Bernard Hopkins.
Oh, and Ryan Garcia is a fucking druggie. A drug cheat. That's what magician Marty is leaving out. With all the smoke and mirrors, with all the holes in the hat on the goddamn mirror table that he's pulling shit out of. This motherfucker, what are we talking about? Side note, King, you make me want to take a long drive. Sugar-free Mars, let me tell you something. When you do this twice a week, you get tired of it real quick. That's why I'm like, man, I got another opportunity coming up. It's a very good, solid opportunity, as a matter of fact. I'm pretty much the only candidate that qualifies for what they want. And I'll be home every night. I'll be working by the house, making more money. So I will not have to drive 8 hours a week. I'm trying to tell you, sister. I'm trying to tell you, queen. It's nice sometimes. It's nice when you have things to talk about and you're listening, you're being entertained. But 8 hours. I can do a lot more with 8 hours. I appreciate you, MILF Lord. You funny, MILF Lord. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh, it's going, yeah. Listen, it's a better opportunity. I'll be home every day, and I'm running my own shop. Basically, I'll be running everything in my area. Basically, I'll be in charge because the company is based in Charleston, I believe, and they need somebody to handle shit where I live, which is about 2 hours away. So I'll be pretty much running the whole shop in my area for that company. So I'm looking forward to it, and I'll be home more. Like I said, the hours are shorter. It's like 7 to 3. That's what the guys in the field work. So the guys in the field will be working from 7 to 3:30. That's it. So that means I work from 6 to about 5 or 4:30. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be great. I can't wait. Yeah. So next week I'll find out for sure, but I'm pretty much a shoe-in. And yeah, no more of this bullshit. No more of this. I can focus those 8 hours on building my fight channel where I want to talk about. I want to highlight Muay Thai. I love Muay Thai, so I want to highlight that. I want to try to help push Muay Thai in America. You know, try to push it towards the level of boxing, because I think we need something different in America, like in terms of combat sports. I mean, we got the UFC, but you know, you get what you get with UFC. But Muay Thai is completely different. The guys in the UFC, they'll use Muay Thai in their fighting, but it's not Muay Thai. It's not traditional Muay Thai, or even Dutch Muay Thai. Dutch Muay Thai is great too. So anyway, like I was saying, man, this guy, man,
actually assaulted him and pushed him and committed battery against him outside the ring. I need y'all to help me make this make sense.
Thank you, Sugar Free Mars. Make it make sense. I mean, what do you want to hear? Bernard Hopkins shoulder checked him and ran off, and Bill, it didn't affect Bill. What do we, like, come on, man. Stop talking about that. I mean, talk about what you want, because I believe in free speech, but I mean, come on, bro.
That's all I'm saying, y'all. Let me play a little more, and I promise y'all I'm gonna let y'all go.
Okay, all right.
I respect.
All right.
I agree with that.
All right.
But I'm saying that I think the difference is the onus on Devin.
No, it's not.
Devin,
It's not.
feels
It's
different
not.
because he's a boxer.
No,
That's why I make it feel crazy.
He's a boxer, and he has a company, and the responsibility is on the company. I put on the suit and tie and pulled up in there because I'm most qualified to come in here and file this lawsuit on this guy for everything that he did.
He said, yes, he's a boxer, talking about his son. He's talking about his son is the boxer, right? But his son also have a company, and he's the one that's most qualified to put on the suit, the tie, to file the lawsuit on behalf of his son.
Marty. I thought you knew better. I thought you were about business. So, someone can own a company, can be the owner of a company, or there can be a group of shareholders that own the company that will hire a CEO to run the company. A CEO, Chief Executive Officer. The Chief Executive Officer is oftentimes not the fucking owner. Devin is the owner of DHP. Bill is the CEO. He is the qualified person to initiate the lawsuit with the approval of Devin Haney. Why is this confusing?
Lucky McKinnell's missed it, so I have to say this last piece again. You mean to tell me, Lucky, stay with me, Lucky. You mean to tell me Haney is filing a lawsuit against Ryan Garcia on behalf of his 27-year-old grown man son who's a professional boxer for battery?
Here we go with the fuck of contract, right? It's just what occurred from Ryan Garcia being a drug cheat. It would not be battery if Ryan Garcia wasn't a drug cheat. He sued for breach of contract. Period. Kangar J says a CAO is basically an elected official of a company. Exactly. He's not the Bill runs the company for Devin on his behalf as a CEO. Come on, man.
Didn't file a lawsuit on his own behalf when Bernard Hopkins pushed him outside of the ring.
Oh my God.
When Bernard shoved Bill Haney in his backyard in his hometown of Vegas, where he rests his head at, he didn't even file a lawsuit against Bernard. But you want me to believe this is a business move for filing a lawsuit against a professional? Where was the lawsuit at when Devin Haney sucker punched that carnival worker?
Devin did not land the punch against the carnival worker. The carnival worker was the aggressor. The carnival worker was, now y'all can say what y'all want about Bill, about Devin, he shouldn't have did that. He shouldn't have blah, blah, blah. He's a professional boxer. He's got this and that. Fuck all that. Fuck all that. Devin faced off against an aggressor and took a swing and did not land. What are we talking about? What do you mean, where is the lawsuit? If the guy was in Devin's face, hooping and hollering and making threats and being aggressive, Devin had every right to defend himself by getting off first when the person across from you is being an aggressive motherfucker. You have the right in the state of California to defend yourself against assault before the person commits the battery. That is then self-defense. If you wait until the person hits you or attacks you and then you fight back, that is called mutual combat at that point. It's no longer self-defense. It's mutual combat. Devin defended himself against someone he thought was trying to harm him. Man, come on now, dog.
In battery, and the guy that Devin Haney assaulted and the guy who got jumped, that same guy, he's a civilian.
Devin is a civilian. What are we talking about? Why is he? You know what? I'm done. He's just repeating shit. I'm done. He's just going over the same shit. The bottom line is, this is a nothing burger. This is a nothing burger. He wanted to. Bill Haney went on an interview with Fight Hub. He thought he had something he could eat with. Turned out to be tofu. It turned out to be a tofu taco. Okay? It turned out to be a tofu taco. There was no meat. It was a nothing burger. It was an impossible burger. You know what I'm talking about? This motherfucker grilled up an impossible burger and ate it. Okay? That's what he did. It wasn't even a black bean burger. A black bean burger is going to have more nutrition and substance than a motherfucking impossible burger that is filled with goddamn bamboo fiber. You know what I'm talking about? The shit they put in an impossible burger to make it, the filler, is made from tofu fiber, which is not digestible. That is what he ate with this motherfucking video. An impossible burger. Okay? I came through with the filet mignon burger to shut this shit down. That's what I did. Filet mignon burger versus a goddamn impossible burger. I ate the filet mignon, medium rare, juicy than a motherfucker. This dude tried to create something out of nothing, like a magician. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. Magicians are not magical, right? Magicians are tricksters. He tried to pull all kind of rabbits out of a hat that would not fit. This dude is full of shit and he's a liar. He slandered Devin Haney by saying that Devin committed assault and battery against the dude at the carnival when Devin did not even connect. There is no battery when you don't connect. There might be attempted battery, but in this case where Devin felt like harm may come to him, he defended himself. So I'm done with manager because he's just repeating. And he's saying the same shit, and now I'm getting caught up ad nauseum, ad infinitum with his bullshit. So therefore, I'm going to end it here. I think I did my job. I think I handled my handle. You see, manager, guys like him, knock off Pity Pat, and all these motherfuckers that hate Bill to this level, that will create something out of nothing, that will get all the Impossible Burgers and the Beyond Burgers, and they'll cook them up and they'll eat them in front of you, right? They'll put all kind of Lorry seasoning, they'll put the parsley, they'll put the cilantro, they'll put all the pepper and the salt and all this shit on this Impossible Burger to make it seem like they're eating real beef, to make it seem like they're eating even a turkey burger. No, or even a salmon burger. There's no salmon, there's no turkey, there's no motherfucking beef in anything that they're doing, because they have to go to the sawmill, get all the sawdust off the fucking ground, get some goddamn emulsifier, some binder, right? They might use tripe or pig guts with eggs. They might use egg whites. Yeah, they might mix some of that shit up in there, or some type of plant matter if to make it look like a burger that they got about to eat. But it ain't nothing but bullshit. It's nothing. He took that interview and tried to make Bill look like a hypocrite by saying Bill is a gangster one minute and a businessman the next, and then an activist the next, when you can be all three. You can be all three. You can be a reformed gangster who is now a businessman and an activist. But see, in the world of the manager of magician Marty, we operate in false dichotomies. We operate in those types of things. We operate in a vacuum. We try to paint pictures in a vacuum. We try to create things in a vacuum, but it does not. That's not how the world works, right? That is not how the world works. Because I was in the military, I am a veteran. I am also an electrician. I can be both. Just because I'm now an electrician or an electrical superintendent. See, I was an electrician. Now I'm a superintendent. Well, I'm not installing anymore because I'm running work, because I manage people, but I'm still an electrician. You see what I'm saying? You don't stop being these things because you have progressed and evolved to a higher degree or a higher level. No, you are still what you were before. I'm just not an apprentice anymore. I'm no longer a journeyman. I'm no longer a foreman. I'm no longer a general foreman. I'm a superintendent now. But even though I'm not those things, I'm still an electrician. At the end of the day, I can wire your house, right? I can wire a house. I can wire a commercial business with some help. I can do all that. When I get my contracting license in South Carolina, I will then be a contractor. I will no longer be a superintendent. I will be a contractor. But guess what I will always be? A motherfucking electrician who happens to be a veteran at the same time. When Bill talks about being in the streets and knowing the streets and having an ear to the streets, he's talking about the connection that he maintains as an OG. Because if you are a real OG, you never lose those connections. You never not have your ears in the streets because you are doing work. You are doing work to improve. You are doing work to for gang violence intervention or violent intervention. These are things that you're doing as an activist who is a reformed gangster or a reformed street dude. It's not hypocrisy. It's doing better. It's evolving. It's becoming a better person, which Bill has done. So when we talk about Bill filing a lawsuit against Ryan Garcia, we're talking about Bill the businessman who is a reformed gangster and an activist who is suing Ryan Garcia as the CEO of DHP on the behalf of the owner and fighter Devin Haney. That's what we're talking about. Being a 50-year-old gangster is mad crazy. Well, Bumpy Johnson was a gangster all the way up into his 60s. Right? Malcolm X was a reformed gangster who died as an activist. He wasn't in his 50s, but nonetheless. Red Fox was in his 80s or 70s when he died. But guess what? He still was a gangster, right? He's an OG. It just is what it is. You can try to make it look crazy, right? Like saying, oh, a 50-year-old rapper. Oh, a 50-year-old rapper, 40-year-old rapper. Well, guess what? If you still got the goods, if you still can spit, it don't matter how old you are. Anyway, I'm not going to let my favorite troll, Dead Mike, get me down this path. I'm going to end this live stream because, yeah, I'm just going to do that. Anyway, thank you guys for coming through. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. And thank you, Queen Sister Cameron, for dropping that super chat. I appreciate you. Y'all go check her channel out. Y'all go check out Sugar Free Mars. Anybody else in here that has a channel, y'all can drop your channels. Because you know I rock with y'all. Anyway, thank you for listening. Anyway, listen, man. I am more than happy to come at people like Manager Marty to point out the bullshit. Because it's fun for me. This is fun. So when I get my production up, when I transition into my new position at the new company, guess what? and I done got my 8 hours back. It's on and popping. I am going to then start working on the channels that I want to do. It's not going to just be the fight channel where I discuss Muay Thai and boxing. I'm also going to do a channel that's kind of like a how-to channel, but with a spin, right? It's not going to be a traditional how-to channel. It's going to be very interesting, right? It's going to be a very interesting channel. And then there we have it. So, and then there's also going to be probably my fitness channel that I'm going to get popping as well. So it is what it is, you guys. Thank you guys for coming through. Much love. Like, share, subscribe, and we're going to keep marching forward toward freedom. Peace.